Hello, this is Miss Janelle with the Ella Johnson Library District, and today we are going to do a fun craft activity where we're going to bring the outside inside. Are you ready to make something with me? Let's get started. So for today's craft, we are going to make a beautiful bouquet of paper flowers. So there's a couple different styles of flowers, and I'll explain how to make each one, and then you can kind of create your own variations. And what we will need for this project is some paper. The thicker, the sturdier flower you will have. So I have some cardstock here. You'll also need stems of some sort. So I have some wood skewers that are green. You could also use pipe cleaners, straws, or any other sticks you might have. Chopsticks also are really great. You also need a pair of scissors. Glue, I would prefer you use hot glue just because it's stronger, but if you don't have that, Elmer's glue and a glue stick will work fine. Tape is also a really great option, especially when we're connecting the flowers together, so tape would be good as well. And if you have some fun stuff like hole punches or the scissors that have patterns on them, you can use that as well. And that's all we'll need for this project. So for this flower that kind of looks like a lily, we're going to use a cutout of our hand to create the flower. You can kind of see we also glued it into a cone shape. So first what we'll do is trace our hand. When you trace your hand, the wider you put your hand, the further away the petals will be from each other. If you want your lily to be tighter, you can put your hand closer and make a tighter lily. And if you don't want 5 petals, you can get rid of one of the fingers and just have a 4-petal lily. So now that we've traced our hand and cut it out, we're going to roll it up so that it can start to form the shape of our lily. And you're gonna roll it kind of like an ice cream cone and then let it go. Because we wanna see the fingers now. So we have the base rolled and the paper kind of has a memory, so it'll remember that roll. And now we kind of wanna get our petals to flare out. So you can use a pencil or a chopstick or a skewer to do this, or you can use your hands, but we're gonna kind of train the petals to flip outward. So we just roll it over, and again, you can use your fingers if you don't want to use a pencil, and kind of release it so it creates these nice curls. We're gonna do that to all the fingers. All right, so I curled up my yellow paper into a nice spiral and I glued it onto the stick. Next, we're going to slide the stick inside, like so. And that little yellow part will be the pistil of the flower. Now, after we have that, I'm gonna kind of cinch this a little bit more. And then we can wrap our leaf around and glue that together to create our flower. All right, for our next flower, this one that looks kind of like a lilac, we are going to do a different technique, but again, we're going to be creating a spiral and gluing it to our stick. So first, you're going to need to get a nice big piece of paper like this, and we're going to need a rectangle. We're gonna fold it in half like so. And then we're going to create little strips in the paper, like so. So once we have all of our strips, I'm going to unfold it like that and just kind of give it a little wiggle so it loosens up. And then we're going to train our paper to roll. So you can use a pencil or a skewer or just your hands like I'm doing here. And we're just training our paper to go into this shape. Once we get it all trained, we're gonna unroll it like so. Then we're going to attach it to our stick. So for this one, you're gonna start at the top like that, and you're going to glue your paper to the stick. And then you're going to roll it in your hand. And as you roll it, you're gonna pull the paper downward And we're going to create this fun little spiral. And you want to keep pulling downward so that each one of the petals of the flower sticks out like that. And you're going to glue your base. And then you can pull out some of the petals to kind of make them a little bit more round and full. So it looks like you have a nice big full bouquet. So after you get your flower attached, you're going to do the same thing with the green part to create your leaves. And then you can do your paper strips as tiny like this one or as large like this one as you'd like. And then this particular flower is a variation. So instead of making one large spiral, I did several spirals on 2 skewers taped together and then placed them with some super glue, and I hot glued the leaves on there so that there's a nice sturdy base. So you can kind of make your own variation of each one of the flowers using that technique. All right, for our last flower, we did more of a carnation style spiraled flower. So again, we're gonna be rolling the paper just like the other ones, but this is a little bit different because it's gonna be a tighter flower. So the first thing you need to do is cut out a circle in your paper, and then we're going to turn it into a spiral. So go ahead and trace anything you want to make a nice big circle or a small one, and then cut it out. So I freehanded my circle and I cut a small slit into it because we're going to create a spiral. So what you're going to do is just go around like so. I have my spiral there. And you're going to want to leave this round part because that's going to be the base of your flower that this spiral sits on top of, so that you can glue it to your stick. All right. And what I did with this one is I took a fun punch edge that looks a little bit like an embroidered edge and went around the outside of my spiral and punched that into it so that it created that nice edge. You can also use other punches like a plain oval or a heart to create a different edge, or you can freehand cut it or use one of those fun pattern scissors. For this one, I'm just gonna leave it plain and we'll do a little spiral. All right, so I started rolling my spiral, and you start with the outside edge and work your way in. You can do it as tight or as loose as you like, because this, again, is just the part where we're training the paper. So once I worked my way all the way around the spiral, so it kind of looks like a pencil shaping a little bit right now, we're going to start to kind of let it blossom, so to speak, and open itself up. So this is the part where you can kind of decide how big you want your flower to be or how small. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller than that one. And once you get it to the size that you like, you're going to take that flat back and put glue on there. And then you're going to pinch your flower together and hold it really tight for a minute or so until it stays put. And that will be the base of your flower. Now what I did with this one is I created another small paper spiral inside made of orange, again, to kind of create that pistil inside of my flower. And I glued it to the back of the stick, inserting it through there. And then I cut out a nice leaf shape to kind of wrap around the back to cover up the stem a little bit. And that is the carnation. All right, so we have all of our flowers completed, and I have this nice little vase that I put mine in. But another fun thing you could do with yours is bunch them up like a traditional bunch of flowers and tie a nice ribbon around them. Or another thing that I've done with my paper flowers is I've poked them into the ground outside along the walkway to create kind of like a fun little entrance to your house. So that was a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Thank you so much for having fun with me today and creating a wonderful craft. I suggest maybe spreading a little cheer and giving your bouquet to someone you love. And I hope to see you soon at the library so we can have some more fun with art. See you soon.